what can be said about this person other than just list some facts? Because I don't even have to give opinion. I could just read her words that she willingly put out into the universe by going to city council meetings and saying this shit out loud. Also crazy letters that she sent to me and every neighbor in at least our apartment building. This is before we had a digital system where the doorman had to like stick a key in your mailbox with a little tag on it that says you have a package waiting. Make it official, right? She printed out enough for everyone in the building and made the doorman check in all of these letters officially so that when she goes back downstairs and sees the keys were pulled out, that means she knows that you got the letter. All right. So, I would like to say, let's give more context. Yeah, this is a city council meeting in the year 2006. Now you say that sounds like a long time ago on paper, but I was there. I was 24 and she was much, much, much older, proving my point. That this shit was wrong then. It was wrong in the 90s when I was a teenager. It was wrong in the 80s when I didn't even know what I was experiencing. It was wrong in the 60s and the 50s. So stop trying to rewrite history that you didn't know better. I'm telling you right now, this was always unacceptable. Don't look back and give them a pass that, oh, that's just the way things were back then. No, they were that way because you said this shit out loud in public. All right. She was at a panel discussion to review improvements that are planned for the Strip, a popular shopping destination. Oh, by the way, this is, I'll give a link to the source. The Observer, theobserver.com. Article name, Beloved Fulton Mall Fight for Existence versus Borum. Borum Hill is the name of the neighborhood. Hyphen Wazi. It's a play on words based on the neighborhood. And they're interviewing my neighbor. Anyway, let's get back to it. She says, I want to know what the planners plan to do to attract a white clientele. Just for emphasis, you're not at home at the kitchen table, you're at a city council meeting. You can walk from J Street to Flatbush Avenue Extension, and you may see no more than 5 white people walking down the street. The only store would appeal to the white middle class is Macy's. Imagine the gasp in the audience. I wasn't there, but I read it, and I could just imagine everybody clutched their pearls. This is commentary from the person that wrote this article. Let me give them their credit. Matthew Schuerman. 2006-02-20. All right. The audience, a patchwork of neighborhood enthusiasts and professional planners, squirmed like the rolling royally superego of Brownstone, Brooklyn, watching helplessly as its well-suppressed id broke through. Here came help. I have to say, I love this person's writing. It's cracking me up. That's authentic. What's your question? The panel moderator barked. I would like to know how the planners plan to proceed to change this mix of retail offerings to attract a new clientele. The audience, embarrassed and indignant, giggled and sighed. That's one way to put it, embarrassed and indignant. Michael Burke, one of the panelists at the event, which was sponsored by the Municipal Arts Society and who is the director of the Downtown Brooklyn Council, responded that no one was planning, in quote, some sort of race-based marketing strategy. But that, quote, attracting new tenants in order to attract area workers and residents is very important. One or two of the other panelists chimed in, at which point Miss Hahn stood up again. She says, maybe I should not have said a white clientele, but a more upscale middle-class clientele, she offered. In Freudian terms, this was a partial success. In fact, words like upscale and middle class were not welcome. Brooklyn's Fulton Street Mall was once an elegant retail strip that now appears to consist of leftover and surplus inventory, a forlorn Macy's. I like a forlorn. I like to throw that word in sometimes. A Conway, 3 Payless shoe sources, 2 Foot Lockers, and a kid's Foot Locker, and a partridge in a pear tree. That wasn't in it. There's an electronic shop called Newcastle, which rents its first 15 square feet to a man named Mike who makes metal fronts for teeth. His display case includes a miniature penis engraved on a gold cap. And tire stores are given over to little 6 by 9 foot stands like butchers at the old Essex Street Market, except here they sell jewelry and CDs. The upper store windows of some of the street's 19th century buildings are bricked up with cinder blocks. The black on yellow sign for Cellular Island stretches up 3 floors above street level. The shoppers are largely black, but in order not to talk about race, here's a glossary for civilized discussions about improving the Fulton Street Mall area residents. I love this writer. I had to give him his props again. Hold on. Let me go back scroll. Chill out, ravioli. Matthew Schuerman, Beloved Fulton Mall fights for existence versus Borum Wazi. Look it up. All right, let's get back on track. That gives me a little time to catch my breath because I was laughing too hard. Local constituents, see area residents. Non-users, people who don't shop at the mall. Underutilized, area residents and local constituents are non-users. In the constraints of that syllogism, this issue of race is both difficult to raise and impossible to avoid. When people speak of developing Soho-style lofts in the upper stories of the buildings fronting the mall, or of bringing restaurants like those on Borum Hill, Smith Street to the mall side streets, or of bringing large office buildings to the area, it's not hard to imagine the cultural character of the shopping district being transformed beyond recognition. It would certainly mean more white people. People are very careful nowadays how they word things and use subterfuges, Miss Hahn said later in a telephone interview. You don't talk about race anymore. It's not politically correct. That's her own admission. That's an admission. She's projection. Use subterfuges. You don't talk about race anymore. You did. You said it loud and proud. You just didn't realize how obvious it was. And then you try to walk it back, and then you step in it even more because it shows that you use black and poor interchangeably. That's one and the same to you. Where they intersect doesn't matter. It's just a one-size-fits-all for you. The fact that it bothers you so much, you can walk from the Brooklyn Bridge to Fulton Street Mall and not see more than 5 white people. So what? Why is that a problem? Huh? You seem really upset about it. All right. And so really the dispute with Ms. Hahn was the outward expression of brownstone Brooklyn's guiltiest secret. They are the front lines of gentrification. The racial implications of that will always be papered over in an almost subconscious operation, mostly by white people, successful or underutilized. And that's about it for, it gets much more complicated than that. You can read the rest on your own. But the point is, she doesn't even live in Concord, Cooperative anymore, but she's still on the digital forum for CV residents only, right? Supposedly, but one, she don't live there anymore, mind your business. But also, the moderator allows it. They like her. They like what she has to say. And all the other Karens that when she used to stand up and wave her fists in the air at board meetings, they'd all get up and cheer. Yeah, we like this lady. This is what she represents us. Put her front and center all the time. This is your guys, or your women. I'm sorry. Ooh, 10-10.